Coming here, came to my mind an upshot in the Gemara. There's a Gemara in Brachas, the Gemara says, the Gemara brings a pasuk, Shimu alai abir alev v'choik men tzedakah. Abir alev means strong people that don't get. Who are the abir alev? Who are the abir alev? The Gemara says, Amar v'yehud, the Rav Yehuda, man abir alev, gavoy tipshoy. Gavoy is a umar tipshoy, what is? Then they're not getting closer to Torah. Amar Avashi. B'nei Masa Mechasya, a place called Masa Mechasya, abir alev nina. There are people with not good hearts. They're not getting closer to Torah. Why? The Kechaze Yikra Deraisa. They see the Yikra Deraisa. What's the Yikra Deraisa? Torah brings the Kallah, the Yarchei Kallah. They see the Yarchei Kallah. Trezim B'shata, twice a year before Sukkot and before Pesach, when you learn the Hilchas Chag B'Chag. And they're not even thinking, see such a Kvod Torah and not becoming part of Klal Yisrael is a bir aleif. Toys sagt, what's the pshat in a bir aleif? What are they supposed to see? Toys sagt, v'ro'isi b'sefer itim. I saw in Sefer Itim shechiber Horaah Rabbi Yehuda bar Bazili sheshama at a Kabbalah shoy omed shel eish yored min hashamayim. He came down on omed shel eish. As Azach Yarchei Kallah, Klal Yisrael comes together to learn. Omed shel eish came down. Bekala the Elul, ubekala the other. Everybody saw it, even the Goyim, and still they're not Megaya. Yarchei Kallah. I was thinking to myself, Avade, Toys brings out Murdig and Maisa Nest. But even in our days, you see such an oilam. People that work, make panasa, people that are busy, people that could enjoy life, so to say, come together to the matzav Yarchei Kallah. This is Yikra de Oiraisa. This is Yikra de Oiraisa to the highest level, which should inspire everybody. And those people, not the goyim, are not being inspired. This is Abir Aleif. So we're going to go to our sugya. I gave my mekoyim. I know the Gemaras are not such easy Gemaras. So the shaila is, can you go into a furniture store and put down money, a deposit, or more than a deposit, pay in full, and order furniture? No, you're not getting a better price, regular price. But can you do that? Can you go into a store, put down the money, whatever the amount they say, it has to be paid in full? Can you do that or can you not? So we have to remember one thing, Mida Oiraisa, ribbis is only derech halvor. If you borrow money, you lend money to somebody, and you're charging for that. So in order to be awesome, we need two things. It has to be alvar, and it has to be agreed on a certain charge for the alvar. Omar Rav Nachman, we see the Gemara, some Gemara Bais, Kol aganata. Aganata means you pay for waiting, pay for the time. That's ribbis. So it has to be derech alvar. Also has to be that it's agreed on a charge. Derech mekhe will never be deraisa. Derech mekhe is only the Rabbanon. What's worst case in derech mekhe is also the Rabbanon. So what's the difference derech halvor? When is it considered halvor? It's simple. If I give you $10,000 and you have to pay me back $10,000 plus a toivus hanoah, plus even a dibur, whatever it is, that's ribbis deraisa. If I give you $10,000 and you give me back an item that's worth $10,000 or 11 or whatever it is, that's derech mekhe. You're not giving back the same thing. If I give you a box of Coke and you have to pay me back a box of Coke, that's alvor. Kol davar yishach. You give back the very same thing that I gave you. Halvor lotzon, milve lotzon itnu. So if I give you food or I give you something you're allowed to use up and then pay me the same item, that's halvor. If you can't use up, it's a shaila, it's schiras. It's not considered halvor. But if I give you something you could use and then pay me back the very same thing, that's considered halvor. If I give you money and you give me an item, that means you are the seller, I'm the buyer. It's never going to be osmer deraisa. If I give you an item you're supposed to pay me, then I'm the seller, still derech mekhe, right? However, Chazal came in and say, whenever there's also time factor, because when you buy an item, the time you're supposed to pay is, a sale is considered an exchange. You can exchange item for item. You can sell me a Gemara and I'll give you a Shulchan Aruch. It's also considered a sale. I can sell you a Gemara, you go into the farm store and you give $10. That's a sale. An exchange of items or exchange from item to money is considered a sale. It has to happen at the same time. An exchange is at the same time. Now if I tell you, okay, I'm ready to buy something, but you have to give me time to pay, Chazal are telling us two things are happening. The one thing is a sale. And if you don't say anything just in default, you have to pay at the time when you buy it. When you agree that, okay, fine, we'll do a sale, but you can also pay later, that's already midrabanan, only midrabanan. A sale plus a loan. Same thing goes the other way around. If you have to prepay, we have two things. The buyer is lending money to the seller because the seller was supposed to give it now. In default, when I pay at the time when I pay, the lender is supposed to deliver the item. If we agree, no worries, you can deliver in a month from now, midrabanan, two things are happening. A sale plus a loan. The buyer is lending money to the seller. Now let's learn the Gemara. Nevertheless, whenever there's midrabanan even a loan, because there's two factors here. There's the sale plus time. Time is considered a loan midrabanan. A loan is not also yet. A loan where you pay extra ribbis meant marbe, more, that's a problem. So when you lend somebody money for free, that's actually a mitzvah. In Kesef Talvas Ami, Rashi says, it's not if, you should. It's a mitzvah to lend money. But if you lend money, you get something extra, more than the principal, that's ribbis. So, ribbis are abanon, obviously. You know, we said that if I prepay, it's considered a loan plus a buy, but it's still, it's only a problem when you get the extra. So let's learn now the Gemara. Let's see what's the extra the Chazal had the issue with. So the first Gemara we're going to start is the Gemara of Ayin Beis and Bais. The Gemara sagt, the Mishnah says, Ein poiskin ala shah, Ein poiskin ala peres. You cannot make psika. Psika means you agree on the price. Ad sheyotza shah. Till the shah comes out. Shah means the price. In those days, not everything was available always. So when things became more available, that's when the price set in. It's considered yotza shah. Before that, only some sellers have. We don't know yet the shah because it depends how much is going to be available. So ein poiskin al peres ad sheyotza shah. Yotza shah poiskin. Why? Afish ein lezeh. Yet we'll see what that means. The Gemara says another halacha, but you're not going to be our sugya. He's the first one. So if he's the first, tchila means the first one. He's the first one. So there's no shah yet. But since he has it, Rashi explains, yesh loy is still mutter. Why? Because midrabanan, the issue of the rabbanan, the issue. So therefore, if I pay and the seller has the item in stock, he's not delivering it until next month, but he has it in stock at least one piece. When I'm buying one piece, that's good enough. Midrabanan keilu I bought it. So keilu everything happened now. That's the halacha of yeshla. We're not going to talk about yeshla. Our sugya is going to be yotza shah. So if yotza shah, it's mutter. Lo yotza shah, it's also Rabbi. What's the problem? I'm not agreeing to pay less. I'm not selling it for cheaper because you magdim moyes, because you prepay. The answer is, since we don't know the price, we think the price might change or will change, and therefore, at the time of payment, it means at the time when he delivers the item, by then, let's say I'm paying $10. We think now the price is going to be 10. It's not yet yotza shah, but he charges $10. We think at the time by yotza shah, the time I'm going to pay is going to be $15 an item, and what we're going to see is I gave $10, and with the factor of time, he's going to pay me 15. Why? Because I lent him more money. So, in other words, I got it cheaper because I prepaid. So, even though we didn't agree that I get a better price or cheaper price, since it's not Yotza Shah yet, Chazal v'choishesh, maybe the price is going to be more, and Memele, it's going to come out of the situation where I pay 10 for an item, and he's going to deliver me the item. When he delivers me the item in a month from now, it's going to be 15. So, I gained $5. Tak on the Rabbanu, because Dech Mekach, Memka. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, the Gemara goes into, and I'm going to go all the shows of the Gemara. Omer Rabbi Yochanan says, you cannot have a Shara Ayoros. you need more than shar ayos. What shar ayos? Again, everything is supply and demand. Ayos means a small town. Medina means a bigger town. So a bigger town, the supply is more steady. In a small town, the supply is not so steady. So when we want to know what's considered Yotzer Hashar, Medina is considered more steady, bigger Yotzer Hashar. Ayos is a smaller town, and therefore is a lower level of Yotzer Hashar. Sagt Rabbi Yochanan, Ayos is no good. We need more than Ayos. Shar Medinas. Domus, Kedomus Azeh. Itlas Rav, a big Itlas. That means a big market. A big market is stronger Yotzer Hashar. I'm going to explain a little more. I'm just going to skip to the Gemara because it's going to come out better. Zog die Gemara of Samach Gimel and Bais. Samach Gimel and Aleph, it starts in the bottom. Amar Rava, Hash the Amar Rabbi Yanai. Now the Rabbi Yanai said, Mali hen, Mali de meim omrinon. Mali d'mayim, Mali hen, nam omrinon. We said, Yotzer Yeshloi is a heter. Even though we have a situation where there is no Yeshloi, aber Mali d'mayim, Mali hen. So even though the seller doesn't have the item yet, but since I'm giving him money, with that money, Yotzer Hashar, he could go out and buy it, so he could go back to his supplier. Memele is considered as over Yeshloi. So the Yotzer Hashar is good enough. Why is it good enough? Because I'm giving him money. Malid mei and mali hen. He could go back to his suppliers or wholesalers or friends, different stores, and buy the item. Memele is also considered as over Yeshloi. Das ist Halacha auf Rava. Fragt Rashi Akasha wie im Teumer. Sagt Rashi. Understand, Rava says that because of Rabbi Yanai, now we know Halacha that Yotzer Hashar is good enough. Because Ein Lezeh, Yesh Lezeh means you could go buy it. Fragt Rashi wie im Teumer. Mishaseini huzu. It's a mission. We just learned the mission. Yotzer Hashar, Poiskin. So why do we need to get to Rabbi Yanai? Toises on the spot, learns Pshat. Rav is coming to tell us, since the halacha is, Malid mei malihem means, if I give him the money, a prepay, he could go out, he could go back to his supply, he could go back to his competition and buy. That tells us that Shara Yoris is good enough. A small town is also good. So, upliege de Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan told us of Iron Base. That no, a small town is not good. We need a Shara Medina, big town, where the market is much more solid and the Yotzer Hashar is stronger. Here, Rabbi is telling us, no, Shara Yoris is good enough. If you look back in Shechanor, and I'll come back to explain it a little better. In Shechanor, it's in Kuf Ein Hai Sif Aleph. Shechanor said, Ein Poiskin al Peres al Shara Yoris. Shara Yoris is not good, Rabbi Isai. It's not genug, it's not stable enough. Aber Poiskin al Shar Shemamdina, Shu Kavua. Whose member is this? This is the member of Rabbi Yochanan. Yotzer Hashar Mutter v'chulu. Hago ve'yesh omrim de Poiskin al Shar Yoris. Shar Yoris is good enough. Who? Toises v'Rosh v'tu. That's from our Toises. So our Toises is learning that the Gemara does Samach Gimel, even though there's Rabbi Yochanan. And we always paskin Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan against Rav and Shmuel, we paskin Rabbi Yochanan. But here we have Rava. And Rava is Basra. Memele, Omar, Rava, Omar, Rabbi Yanai, the Shara Yoris is good enough. Memele is Mutter. So the Mechloik is the Mechaber and the Ramah. I want to explain it a little more. We're learning from Rabbi Yanai that Shara Yoris is good. How do we see it from Rabbi Yanai? So Tosis speaks about it. But to explain better, then the Yosef says in the Mishnah, there's two reasons we say we have a problem if somebody is Poiskin al Hashar. If you prepay, that's a problem. Now we said, the ribbis is only if you get something extra. What's the extra I'm getting? I'm prepaying on an item. The answer is twofold. A, why would somebody commit? If you go into a furniture store, you order furniture, expensive furniture, custom-made furniture. Sometimes takes 4 or 5 months till it gets there. When it gets here, by now you can't order it so cheap anymore. Much more expensive. So why would the seller commit to selling it on a lower price, on the price that you spoke about? The answer is, what do you mean? He gave me money. If he give me money, I can use the money, I'm committing. So that very commitment is because of the prepayment, because of the avar. That's the problem. And then more than that, End of the day, when he delivers the item is already worth more. Now we have a problem. Look, only paid $1,000. He delivers me an item for $2,000. So es stimmt nicht. Makes a problem. Sag den Muki Yosef. When the Mishnah tells us you need a big shah, strong shah, what is considered a bigger shah? It's considered such a shah that we don't expect to change it till this man Piran. So if I order furniture and the time to deliver is 3 months, has to be such a shah, such a strong shah, that we don't expect to change within 3 months. Shah Yoris is never so strong. What's the reason? From Rav, the Rav is Mata Shah Yoris. The reason is because he could go back and right away, the time in a prepay, he can already secure himself for the cheap. He has the money, so he can get from his suppliers, even though he doesn't do it. But since he could do it, it's good enough. So Rav learned Shah Yoris is good. Why is it good? Because he could go back to his suppliers and buy it now. We don't expect this little shah to hold strong till man Piran. That's not the vote. The vote is that now you could go back and get. Mali en lezeh, yesh lezeh. Mali dmeim, mali hen. Masha enkein, share, the big shah Medina, it's not changing. It's not expected to change. Even if it changes, it's gefährlich, because only ribbis the rabbanon. But we're not expecting it to change. So that's the machloek. So a Sfardi, the Paskins, the Mechaber, cannot be making psik. I'm not talking about getting a better price. Right now, our sugi is I'm getting the price, whatever he's asking. There's no cheaper price. But just the fact of prepayment without yeshloi, we need a yotza shah Medina. Ashkenazim could be making the Ramah. The Ramah says shah yoris is good enough. Toys that some Beis and Bais, which I think I didn't put on the Ma'amakrim, it says, the Afa gav lo mosha chitin, he didn't buy the chitin. You know, if you do a sale, you have to make a kinyan, you have to mamshicha. Ein ze ribbis. Why? Kimchim hoye bom moiche lachze have a koa b'mishapara. The moich, if he wants to, cancel the order, is over mishapara because I gave actual money. When you give actual money, even though we pass the kesef ein koine, why is kesef ein koine? Shem yom nisru chedech bali. Whatever the reason is, kesef is not koine, but mishapara it is. And since he cannot cancel the order, everything already happened. I gave the money. When I gave the money, there's a mishapara, you can't get out of it. Everything happened now. That's toys. Now, Shua is wondering why would Toys a new reason. The Gemara said all the reasons. Either Share Medina that's not expected to change till Zman Piron. Or the reason is because Ein Lezeh Yeshazeh could go back to the suppliers and get. Why does Toys have a new reason of Mishapar? But the Maisa Toys said that Tam Mishapar, Chavaz Das here in Simkuf Ein Hai brings down that reason. The reason is Mishapar. So, we paskin Shara Yoris is good enough. So, how much does it have to be, a Shara Yoris? Chacham Adam says that you need at least 2-3 days. A Shah that holds for a few days. If it doesn't hold for a few days, not considered a Shah. Okay? Zog the Shah Halacha. Maybe not. Maybe once it's a Shah, even if it changes right away, it's good enough. It brings a raya from the Chodesh. The Gemara says, Kesef, in Perek Azov, Kesef is Tiva. Kesef, silver coins are considered money. A dollar is never, there's no such thing a dollar has more or less value. Dollar is the middle of the circle. The dollar is what stays. Everything goes up and down against the dollar. So the kesef is the main thing. Kesef is tiva. There's never such thing that if I borrow 100 kesef, I give you back 100 kesef, there's a shal and ribbis, because 100 kesef is 100 kesef. Nechoshes changes and Zof change against the kesef. Nechoshes is not considered tiva. Nechoshes could be the price would change against the kesef, it's a problem. Frag the Halacha. Nechoshes is motzi. Everybody has nechoshes. Nechoshes is the small money. How could be there's no yotza shah? Zog the Halacha. Here's a raya. Even if there is a shah, since the shah is changing right away, it could change in the middle of the day 2-3 times. Memel is not considered yotza shah because the yotza shah means I could go out and buy. If I don't have time to go out and buy, it's not considered a shah. Therefore, Chacham Sadam says you need 2-3 days. Today the person are more makel, because they learned that the Chachmas Adam set 2-3 days, because in those days not everything was available on the shelf, stores are not always open, so you have to give him a real good chance to go out and buy. But today things are much more available. A full day is good enough. It's not geya, the difference that we don't learn now. If somebody lends you the car with the full tank, and you tell them, listen, I'm going up to the country, I'll come back, I'll fill you back the car. Now there could be a problem of so, because if the price changes, if Yotza Shad, same halacha there, Yotza Shad's mutter, lo Yotza Shad is going to be a problem. So the nidin is gas considered Yotza Shad or not? If you're short of stock, Yotza Shad or not Yotza Shad? No, it's not Yotza Shad because it changes every second the stock. Okay? So that's the Chacham Sodom. Oh, thank you. Now the shaila is, Rashi says, the reason why Shara Yoris is good enough, because you could go out and buy. Dr. Rashi, is Hamar Gimel and Bais. Malid Mai Melihen, Betchilas at 9 Am Shiotza Shah Poskim, V'af B'Shem Payers V'Yoder. He doesn't have real payers. U'bivat sheyiton lo zeh mois. You have to give him money. So Rabbi say, if I don't give him money, where's the issue? I didn't prepay. The only problem is when I prepay. So Rashi is telling us it's mutter when I do give him money. So when is the problem? The answer is pashut. If I owe him money, if he owes me money, the store owner owes me money, $10,000. I tell him, Rabbi, you have to pay me. I don't have money now, the cash. You know what? Your furniture, I need furniture. Send me a furniture piece. Fine, no problem, I'll sell you furniture. Come down, we'll make a price, or work it out. So Taki comes down and they agree, and they write down a thing that he's paying him. Here there's a problem. Because it's not free, he still gets to keep my money that he owes me, he gets to keep another 3-4 months until it delivers the furniture. He doesn't have real cash money to go out and buy. You have a problem. So if I didn't prepare, it's mutter. If I paid him, it's again mutter. If Yotza Shah, even Shah Shalah Yoros. But if I don't give him actual money, I just tell him that whatever you owe me, pay me in furniture, that's not going to be mutter. That's the Rashi. So now we have a shaila. What happens if I don't pay him in full? I come down to the store, a new person, not the one that the store owner owes money. I come into the store and say, listen, I want to buy furniture. There's furniture. It's not Yeshla. I don't have it here. You have to order it. It's custom made. No problem. Fine. When are you delivering? 3 months from now. Perfect. Before Pesach? Yes. Amazing. Now, he says, okay, thank you for the order, but you have to pay. So, what? I have to pay the whole thing? So, no. You have to pay 50%. Or 30%. Or 70%. Is that good enough now? If Yotza Shah, if lo Yotza Shah, there's a problem. Because any person going to pay is Achi Yotza Shah. If Yotza Shah, Rashi says, it still has to be cash money. He could go back and buy. But if I give him only half of it, or 30%, or 70%, or 10%, what's then? So the Lashon Shechinach is Rabbi Isai, Kuf Ein Hey again. If there is a Yotza Shah, mutter lahag the mos lechaver v'lifsek imoy, she'it no oisem peres kol hashana, keshir ma'oisav. Keshir ma'oisav. You can't pay 50 cents on the dollar. That's not good enough because I need him to be able to use the money to go out and buy. Keshir ma'oisav. And that's how the Panamiyos learns. That's how the Abnaneza learn. Kum the Sharadeh and the Sharadeh says no. Remember we had the Toysa that the reason is not because it could go out and buy. Toysa said the reason is because there's a Mishapara Ki'ilu. I bought it already. For Mishapara, you only need $1. When you sell Chametz, the guy gives $1. That's good enough. Everything else is Zakta B'milveh. So Mamele, Zog the Sharadeh, you know why Toysa is telling you the time Mishapara. And the Shia is asking, from where does Toysa, where did Toysa take you from? He says Tosis took you because the Gemara says Hachas Vin Hach Halvoy. Pashat learned the Gemara Halvoy is much worse than ribbis because Halvoy is a ribbis. Zvina starts out with the Rabbanon because Derech Mekach Memke. He says, no, Halacha Zvina means because it's a Mishapara. Once he gave him, that's how Toys took it from. But since Toys says it's enough Mishapara, you don't have to give the whole money. If you give him any money, it's good enough. So we have a Mechloikes now. If you give him no money, no prepayment, if you pay in full, we pass the Shara Yoris is good enough. If you pay half, Mechloikes, Panamio says also, Avnei says also, and the Shara says, based on the Toises, it should be mutter. So we have three levels, pay in full, half, and zero. Zero means, on two cases of zero. Zero means I don't prepay the Chavada mutter. Zero means I prepay with not cash, but the old Chav, Vade also. Prepay $1 or more, Mishapara mutter according to Shara also according to Panamias, now the Nezer. But Rabbi said the Masham Mishpat Shalom Freita Kasha. We said the whole ribbis here, Psike is Derech Mekach Memke. Mekach Memke ribbis the Rabbanon. So the Masham asks the Shaila, whenever we have a ribbis the Rabbanon, we are toile lekula. So here we are saying, you know why he's committing? Because he gave him money that he could use, which is considered a loan in the Rabbanon. Now maybe not, you know why? I am the seller. I'm committing when you are committing. If you commit, I need committed customers. If you commit, I'll commit. Not because of prepayment. Why don't I commit if there's no money? I'll tell you why. Because people come in and say, yeah, I'll buy it. You know, who said they're going to come back? So if you put down money, I know you're committed. So the reason I'm doing it is not because you prepaid me and I could use your money, which is considered Avon with the Rabbanon, because you're committed. Zog the Masham, no. For that 10% or 20% is good, would be good enough. So to see that the buyer is committed, 10% is good. Why are you asking for more? Why are you asking to be paid in full? Elamai, you only committed because you can use the money, and that is ribbis. Okay? So Rabbi said, we have 4 or 5 madrigas. If you pay in full, Yotza Shara Yoris Mutter. If you pay 50%, Machloikis Panamiris. Panamiris says also, Shardei says Mutter. If you ask for 20%, which really, it's only to see he's committed, he's not running away. Mutter Gomer. If you pay 0, if it's an old Choiv, Lekula Almosa. So I'll do this again, but before I do it again, the Mishpat Shalom somewhere else, Mishpat the Masham, it's Simaresh Tes, he says in a Pshara, if you pay half, sometimes it's going to be mutter. But let's call it 70%. 70% is going to be mutter. 50% machloikis. So 100% mutter. 70% also mutter. 50% machloikis. 20% mutter. 0 also. Why? It says the following. What's the reason why if you put down the money, Rashi says it's mutter, Mali de meyem, Mali hen, im ein lezeh, yeshazeh, you go back and you get supply. The retailer sells it for $100 an item. He gets it for 70. So the svarim ein lezeh yeshazeh is there. If I give him $70, he could go back to his wholesaler and get it for $70. So Rabbi said, let's do it again. If the Yotza Shara Yoris, if I give him 100% of the money, we paskin Rashi, Toyses, we paskin that Shara is good enough. Why? Yesterday, you could go back and buy. 70% the Masham makes a pshara is going to be mutal kol alma if it's an item that he could buy in wholesale. Because since he buys it for $70, the item he sells me for 100, that's good enough. He goes back and buy. 50 cents on the $50 for $100. No, that's not good. Why? Because if you only want to protect and see that he's committed, you could have asked for 20. You're not going to run away if you put down $2,000. So 50, machloikis. Parmio says also, Avnei says also, Loshem Mechaber, Kishir Moisov. But Sharadei is matter based on the Pnei Shua and Toises, Mishapara. 20% is mutter because, you know, I don't need it. I just want to make sure that he's committed. 0 is not prepaid, but 0 on an old choif, that's ready also. So Rabbi said that is really the first Ma'am Krems I gave. I'm not sure how much, you know, maybe I have to stop here. That's all. Before we even talk about giving a cheaper price, that's going to be the next Gemara. The next Gemara talks about Dalet Vehei. and then there's something else. Let's say you don't give a cheaper price, but you give it cheaper than the price out there. So let's say a certain item is worth $12. That's the much of the Shchanok. And you are selling it to me for 10. Im hoye davar sheshavi yud Bais. Im koine davar sheshavi Bais beyud. So an item is worth $12. I'm selling it to you for 10 because you prepay, even though I didn't say a word. The Yotza Shah doesn't help because you're going against the Shah. And lo mi boye if I give you two prices. So two-tier prices is always a problem. So if I tell you, Rabbi Shaul, Hagdama, I'm going to stop. Hagdama smos and I'm tonas smos. Hagdama smos, it's very much. I'll tell you where it's very much. First, I'm tonas smos. I'm tonas smos is much in the case, but I'll tell you the following. I'll sell you the item, but if you want 30 days to pay, then you have to pay more. So I'll sell you $500. If you want to wait 30 days, then it's going to be 105. That's a problem. You give two prices. And the second price, because I'm waiting for my money. The salva. Hakdamas was, I'll tell you a story that I had. Rabbi said, we all have it, and I'm going to finish with that. You go out, you want to buy a house. You go buy a house. So you go, the builder is building the house. Let's say in Lakewood, they built 20, 30-year development. And they're selling. So they tell you, okay, the house is $1 million, but if you put down $400,000 now, $300,000, $250,000, we'll give you for $950,000. It's kedai for the builder because it's 2 years till it's ready. And he could use your money. He needs a smaller builder loan. So Mamela, he can say, you know what? If you put down the money now, you release the escrow. I'll give it to you for $950,000. That is Hakdamas Mos. I want everybody to understand that. If you put money in escrow, it's considered pikon. It's not considered alvor because you can't use the money. It's a pikon sitting there on the shelf. Nobody can use it. Buying a house means not when you go into contract. If you own a house, a multifamily, you go into contract, it takes 3 months or 6 months to close. Who gets the rent meanwhile? The seller, because he still owns it. A contract is not considered a sale. Closing is considered a sale. So if you now go into contract to buy it from the developer a certain house, and you put down money, so if you put it down escrow, the sale is going to be in 2 years. And today you're doing a pikhodoin because you can't use the money. It's not lohitzonit, you can't use the money. If it tells you, I need you to release me the money, if not, I'm not selling you, you're already lending him money because you don't have to pay now, you didn't close today. If it tells you now, if you release it today, I'll give you a better price, that is ribbis mamish. Because he's telling you, release me the money so I can use it even though you're not closing today. And for that, I'll give you $30,000, $40,000 cheaper. That is ribbis. And if you chop yourself a day before the closing, you can't buy it for so cheap. You have to buy it for $1 million, even though, my money, you use my money. The Torah says, lend money for free. So, but that is, when we go to the next level of not just psika lapes, but psika for cheaper, which wasn't directly our story today. I think, everybody.